Douglas Bainbridge both loved and dreaded the arrival of a mail shipment from the United States. This morning's visit to the Shanghai Municipal Post Office provided 2 letters that had come on the steamship from San Francisco yesterday. Sitting at a corner table at the Cantonese tea house he frequented a few blocks from his apartment, Doug reread the letter from his girlfriend, Lucy Kinzler, to reinforce his good mood, before taking in the much briefer letter from his mother. It was a beautiful fall day in Shanghai, November having finally brought an end to summer-like weather, and a fresh breeze blew through the large open windows that ran the length of 2 walls in the tea house. It was in the upper 60s on the Fahrenheit scale, a relief after the stifling heat and humidity he had experienced for most of his first 5.5 months in Shanghai. Plus, the pervasive sour stench that enveloped the city like a blanket diminished somewhat as the temperature moderated. The letter from Lucy put a smile on his face, even with a second reading. The first had been before he left the post office and was rushed. This time he read slowly, savoring her words to him. Before she'd left in August after a summer tour of Asia with her mother, Doug and Lucy promised to write to one another every other week, and they had kept that promise. It usually took 3 or 4 weeks for their letters to travel between Vassar in upstate New York and Shanghai, so she was always answering questions he'd asked her 2 letters ago, and vice versa. He didn't mind a bit. Finishing the letter, he didn't care that he had a big goofy grin on his face as he folded it and put it back in the envelope. He kept a stack of Lucy's letters in a dresser drawer in his bedroom. "Good morning, Mr. Bainbridge," a familiar, friendly voice said to him in English, with a Chinese accent. Doug looked up to see Li Baosheng, one of his next-door neighbors, coming into the tea house. He waved to Doug, and Doug returned the wave. "Good morning, Bao. How are you and Charlie this morning?" "Charlie caught a sniffle yesterday, drank all the tea. I come to get more." "I'm sorry to hear that," Doug said. "Tell him I hope he feels better soon." "He's okay," Bao said with a laugh. "Just a little sniffle. He went to work a little bit ago." Charlie Ford, Doug's other next-door neighbor, Bao's lover, worked as a handyman at a Chinese theater downtown. He was English, 43 years old, and one of the most genuinely nice people Doug had ever met. He hated hearing Charlie caught a cold, even a minor one. He hoped he didn't catch it. He took a long drink of his oolong tea. He shared the Chinese belief that tea was the best prevention, if not also the best cure. Then he looked down at the envelope addressed to his full name, Douglas Preston Bainbridge, in his mother's stilted script, and decided to take another drink of tea for fortitude. He took a deep breath and tore open the seal. It was brief, 1 page, front and back, and consisted of the barest details of news regarding family and old friends, followed by one of his mother's signature scoldings. "In the most recent letter I received from Reverend Allen in Shanghai, he mentioned that he saw you on a few occasions. This was after multiple inquiries to him, which he failed to answer in any but the vaguest of ways. It is clear to me that you have abandoned regular attendance at Sunday services, which causes me great consternation." She continued on for a couple more sentences, mentioned that she would write again before Christmas, and signed, "Cordially, Mother." Doug sighed as he refolded the letter and put it back in the envelope. He was 25 years old and capable of ignoring her admonitions, but it still got into his craw in a way that he couldn't stop. He finished his tea and contemplated where he might go for lunch. Then the peace of a late Saturday morning was shattered by the loud crack of gunfire nearby, followed by screams.